Who would have thought that even in the life of the richest man in the world, there are hard times? Oftentimes, often by the levers through which he consecrated foreign women from the conjugal bed. Specifically, the founder of Amazon and the richest man in the world gave the planet the most expensive divorce in history. The owner of Amazon, in the name of Jeff Bezos, and Mackenzie Bezos decided to end the marriage after 25 years. According to US media, it was the woman who wanted to break away from the millionaire husband. We see immediately why and how much money is in the middle. Jeff Bezos is declared by Forbes in the last 2 years the man with the largest bank account. Of course, that's not why his wife separated from him. The man has a fortune of over $130 billion and started the business that enriched him in 1994 nowhere else than in his Seattle garage. Not even in the most beautiful dreams could he imagine the life he has today. And not even in the darkest nightmares, the family situation that brought tears to the bank account. Jeff Bezos wakes up, goes to various business meetings, and in the evening has 200 million euros, because that is the amount he earns per day. To be clear about what it is in an elementary calculation, the American makes $150,000 per minute. But Jeff Bezos, meanwhile, not only made plans to expand the business, which is already a global giant, but also made time for more controversial extramarital relationships. That's how it happened to meet a presenter by her name Lauren Sanchez. The relationship was discovered by journalists from the National Enquirer, who published an article claiming that super billionaire Jeff Bezos had a long affair with this woman who is a former television producer. Shortly thereafter, the aforementioned newspaper published the so-called spicy SMS sent by billionaire Jeff Bezos to presenter Sanchez, which kind of shook the letters all over the press. We immediately see the whole evil plan. This public soap opera, in which the two still occupy the front pages of newspapers across the ocean, has changed, however. Some time ago, Jeff Bezos reluctantly gave headlines with a post on his blog in which he claimed that the editors of the newspaper that unmasked him would have tried to work it out by posting explicit selfies with him and Lauren Sanchez. Probably no one wanted to see him. Eventually, in a press release from the trust that gave him the land, journalists who damaged his shabby house said they would investigate the claims of great dissatisfaction made by Bezos. Great thing though, it didn't happen after. The investigation put the dust in the locked drawers and Jeff remained hidden under the sheets of the presenter. But given that in recent years celebrity-friendly divorce has become commonplace, public couples seem to be almost expected to shout their friendship after their marriages turn into memories. The breakup of Gwyneth Paltrow from musician Chris Martin, the soloist of Coldplay, is one of the great examples. But back to the story for which you will watch this video and the love triangle Jeff Bezos, Mackenzie Bezos, that is his wife, and Lauren Sanchez, you guessed it again, lover. This joining of the rich culminated of course with the most expensive divorce in history. If we knew that we would break up after 25 years, we would still be married, said Jeff Bezos after leaving the court that officially ended the marriage for a quarter of a century. But it seems that on the day Bezos announced his divorce, the same spit under his shoes, the American tabloid that shook his mistress, he wrote that he will publish those intimate messages sent by the owner of the company Amazon and Lauren Sanchez, the television presenter, with whom he had a relationship that still seems alive. The two met in New York, peaking after Charles's ex-husband introduced him to the tycoon, while Bezos was the vice president of a trust and interviewed Viceroy Sanchez for a job. The moment to get an interview, something more intimate, as we will find out later, it is certain that the performance of the presenter, good to speak, made the billionaire forget that he has a family home. The family consisted of his wife and no less than 4 children. Jeff and Mackenzie, married in 1993, quit their jobs on Wall Street and moved to Seattle, where Jeff Bezos opened an online bookstore, which was the basis of Amazon from his garage, which we all know today. What not everyone knows though is that Jeff has become a millionaire since 1997 and is currently the richest man in the world with a wealth of $135 billion, according to Bloomberg. This year, Amazon, founded in the time of his wife's love, has become the best-rated listed company in the world, surpassing even the huge Microsoft. Specifically, the largest online retailer was valued at $797 billion. Mackenzie, who has 4 children under the age of 20 with Jeff Bezos, is a writer and won an American Book Award in 2006 for The Testing of Luther Albright. In addition, she is also executive director of an organization that advocates for harassment, Bystander Revolution. Let's get back to the money now, because that interests us as a rule. According to the court settlement at the divorce, Mackenzie Bezos, 49, will receive about 20 million shares on Amazon.com, exactly 4% of the company, a value of $38 billion. Following this financial deal, Jeff Bezos' ex-wife ranks 22nd in the top billionaires made by Bloomberg. The divorce was pronounced in a court in Washington, and Jeff Bezos, 55, remained with just over 10% of the company, but can retain the title of the richest man in the world. He is a man who has other businesses that bring zeros into their account. The American owns important shares of the Washington Post as well as other major companies around the globe. We immediately see all the details about the woman who left him without family and children. Interestingly, the former Amazon's wife, Mackenzie Bezos, said he would give up the shares of the Washington Post and the space exploration company in favor of the walking husband, who will also give up the vote right for the rest of the shares he owned on Amazon. Mackenzie promised to donate half of his money to charitable organizations. But let's see who Lauren Sanchez is, the woman who put, let's say, the most expensive divorce in history. She is known as an Academy Award-nominated news presenter, as an entertainment reporter, media personality, actress, producer, pilot, and entrepreneur. With so many qualities, it's no wonder that Mr. Bezos wanted to find out more. And he also learned that the woman began her career as an office assistant, that is, a kind of secretary on a television in Los Angeles, before presenting news and entertainment shows. But like all successful women, independent, she became, as you can imagine, an entrepreneur. Basically, the woman who put her tail in the house of the richest man founded about 4 years ago a film and air production company for women. Now, Aunt Sanchez is focusing on film and television projects that allow her to use her skills as a licensed pilot of airplanes and helicopters. About the same type of helicopters landed in the head of the visionary Jeff Bezos when the former assistant, who became a wonder for presentational reasons, climbed his family and calmed him in 3 movements. But where does Lauren Sanchez come from? The 50-year-old mom comes from a poor family in New Mexico. Raised by her grandmother, who was cleaning the houses of the rich, the woman who sucked the minds of the patrons, she knew little yet what career she wants to pursue. But let's not be wicked, because the lady we are talking about has also learned some things before she teaches men to see blue around her. So, down the hat for Sanchez, who was married to the former director of Tony City before being the consort of another tycoon, Patrick Whitesell, whom of course divorced a year ago, about the time the man heard that his wife had made some roads. But their wedding was lavish, and the guests included movie stars like Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, Affleck's then-wife Jennifer Garner, Jessica Alba, and Hugh Jackman. The woman's father, who also gave up his family at one point, was a plane mechanic and flight instructor. From here and Lauren's passion for all kinds of airplanes. She said the world in which she spins is dominated by men, but there is nothing physical about a helicopter flight. Prior to flying, Sanchez was the host of a show after giving up news, but had to leave the show after the first season to have the second child. It seems that she has always claimed that she was the one who made the decision to quit this job, but sources in US newspapers say she was fired, all for reasons that she was pregnant and made her no longer be eligible for the position she was employed for. But we must return to the scandal that has overturned the whole globe. The idea is that this scandal that left with divorces on every corner would have been made and desired. This was discovered after billionaire Jeff Bezos hired an investigator who discovered that Lauren Sanchez's brother was the one who shared information, messages, and intimate photos between Bezos and the former presenter. It is not yet clear whether Jeff Bezos remained with the woman who set him on fire at home. It is certain that the two still have a full life, both financially and financially.